be aware of what your weaknesses is, and because my whole thing in a base full of concepts and everything is being the best version of yourself, and if that's where your confidence comes from. Your confidence comes from that you know that
you're worth something is the most important thing. I also something my mother told me when I was very young that I adhere to 1,000%, which is you teach people how to treat you.
Sure.
So if you're allowing these things to happen to
Absolutely.
you, then they're just going to keep happening. So, for instance, a great example is I do not tolerate lateness.
You and I, we talked about this before.
I will leave. I give you 15 minutes. If you're not there, I leave.
Yeah.
And that's it. And girls are astonished by that. One girl said, "Don't you know how women work?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I know how human beings work. And if I make an appointment for a certain time, I show up at that time.
Right.
And if you can't do that, then you're not for me."
Yeah.
And it's simple enough.
And if you don't, because what it really is, it becomes a situation where you just don't respect my time.
Right.
And you're accustomed to not respecting my time, and that's okay because you're attractive and you think because every other guy but here's what happens when you leave, they always want another shot.
Right, of course.
Like, they can't believe that you would have the audacity. That's the first thing. And then it's like, wow.
Yeah. Well, this guy, what's going on here?
He really doesn't give a fuck.
I've really closed so many of those deals by walking away. And I just think that even like the same problem, so many of these gorgeous women, they think they're way funnier than they are.
Oh, yeah.
They think they're way smarter than they are because men do not want to correct.
It's our fault.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Yeah.
100% our fault. I wrote an article about it. Yeah. And it's about why are we allowing this time? Not just pretty women, but good-looking guys that happens to them too, where they think that they're funnier or smarter.
How about interesting?
Yeah, interesting.
And you suck.
Yeah. My favorite line, a girl said to me once, "I just think you don't get my crazy sense of humor." I said, "I just don't think you're as funny as you think you are."
Hey, and you know who I hang out with, bitch?
Exactly. Literally, this just happened. There was this Russian girl that stayed at my house for 2 days.
Russians have a great sense of humor.
Great sense of humor. She's trying to be a stand-up. She's a model, trying to be stand-up. She stayed at my house today. Long story short, I was a little tired. I went to lie down while the show was taping. She was watching TV because Gas Central Studios is in my house.
Yeah.
I hear her voice all of a sudden from my bedroom. I'm like, I shouldn't be hearing this girl's voice. So I open my door and I see she's in the fucking podcast studio. She decided she's funny enough to be a part of a show that's already in progress.
Wow.
So I grabbed her. I said, and not grabbed her physically, but I'm like, you got to come out of here. She's like, no, they want me on. I'm like, they don't want you on. Come out here. She came out. I packed up all of her bags and said, you got to get the fuck out right now. And I just kicked her out of the apartment. Wow. And then for the next 3 days, she was texting me, what did I do wrong? I said, look, I can't have a mental patient in my apartment.
Right.
You're a psychopath.
Right.
She kept thinking that she made the show better.
Yeah.
And it's because no one's ever corrected her on that kind of bad shit.
People have always been excited to see her.
Yeah.
Well, we get that on stage all the time, a guy who's heckling.
That's what I said. I said it's the same. The hecklers think they're helping you.
You're like, dude, I've been doing this almost 20 years now, and I've never needed you before. But it's the arrogance. We had just had a thing with this guy, drunk English guy. He goes, man, you're real funny. Want to give you a few pointers. And I go,
do you mind? What did he say? Do you mind if I?
No, he says, I want to give you a few pointers. And I was like, don't. Right? And then he goes, well, what about if I give it to you anyway? I go, you better not. And then he just kind of looks like, because I gave him that the energy that big guys always try to pull back. Mm-hmm. But I gave him the full, you had better not. And then he just goes, it just runs away. So, and then I kind of called, I said, come here. I called him back and I said, what do you do for a living? He goes, he's a captain on a ship. I said, can you imagine I walked on your ship and just told you, you know what, we need to go this way instead. Yeah. He goes, well, what would you say? He goes, it depends. I go, you're full of shit. It's only comedy that people think that they could just...
Yeah, well, DJs too. I was a DJ for years. The guys always come up to me and tell me what to play.
Yeah.
And I said, man, I wish you were the DJ so I could come in here and annoy the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And that would usually shut them down.
It's interesting how unaware people are about how awful they are.
Yeah.
And you don't...
But why do you think that is? Like, what is the reason that people just get to be so unaware? Is it just... I mean, I get why beautiful people...
I like how you looked at me when you said beautiful people.
I get why beautiful people think everyone's interested because but there are some people who it has nothing to do with looks, They are
I just think it could be that they were coddled in their lives and no one ever set them straight. I think the same thing with famous people.
Yeah.
When they don't have people around them who are grounded in reality, they get delusional as to what their worth is because no one says no to them. So they think they can just go anywhere and do anything because that's their life.
For the most part, they can.
Yeah.
Well, you see that thing with Kim Kardashian with her makeup artist. Dude, he was dropping multiple N-bombs and blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, I don't know how you guys just don't get over it. Like, he's a great guy, and people have done things in the past. Just get over it. And you're like, shut the fuck up. There's nothing about you interesting.
Yeah, no, she's the epitome of all of it.
Oh, just
undeserved fame.
It's a weird kind of thing where, you know, you can't have this conversation, and having the conversation. There was that whole thing, the Google thing, where the guy from Google said that women are not great at tech. I don't know if you saw that.
I don't remember that.
And he got fired. He ended up getting fired. And then I had a young lady who said to me, "Can't believe he said this." And I go, "Well, is there any scientific research that validates that, or is there scientific research that doesn't?"
Right.
And she freaked out because I asked the question.
That's hilarious. It's also funny how, you know, so many vocations, whatever they are, comic, musician, actor, plumber, a certain type of person, like almost every comedian on the network, the backstory is the same backstory. Broken family, you know, something like that. And you go to strippers, same stories. Plumbers, most finance guys, same stories.
Right.
So there's certain fields.
Everybody is the same.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to that. That certain fields will bring certain people to that field for whatever reason.
Right.
Most cops are sons of cops.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in that field.
Yeah.
And if you would make the generalization there, that wouldn't get you fired.
Yeah,
but
nobody would have a problem.
Yeah, if I say, oh, most cops are sons of cops, no one's going to be like, oh, fuck that guy.
But even having the conversation about that, like let's look at the data, let's see. It's
you can't have the conversation about anything.
Yeah, it's but I have it anyway. I have it, and then they go, well, then you're a misogynist, you're chauvinist, and I go, yeah, but I also understand that every time a woman gives her number out and goes out on a date with a guy, that her fear is that she could be raped, and that's a concern that I don't have.
Right.
I personally don't have, and you know, you know, you want to claim the good stuff, but you don't want to claim the bad stuff. And
what's happened at this point, and it's political, it's in the male-female dynamic, it's everywhere. I feel that it's the country or the world has come, either you agree with me or you're against me.
Right.
We can't have a discussion.
Right.
We can't have like, I'm sure you and I don't agree on everything when it comes to women or whatever, but
a lot
of it, yeah, we're going to say. But whatever it is, you can have a dynamic with an educated, open-minded person and have opposing viewpoints. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah.
That's a generational thing, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Because was you could have conversation. It might be the entire. I think it goes to the sort of college level of the entitled, like, coddle too much a little bit.
It's the trophies. It's the
everyone gets a trophy generation.
Yeah. And I hate shitting on that because a lot of those people are, you know, of my generation, but that's the reality of it. There is a little bit too much of that. Yeah, everybody gets a participation trophy.
I would say there's something to a guy that's never gotten punched in the face.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
you
it's
can
funny.
tell when somebody's never been thrown down a flight of stairs.
So
you know.